Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina now in London en route to New York to attend the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly. Sheikh Hasina Institute of Frontier Technology is being constructed in Shipchor of Madaripur with a cost of 1500 crore taka. Leaving behind all propaganda, Awami League will come to power again through a free and fair election, says Dr. Hassan Mahmood in Canada. Consumers urged to increase monitoring of kitchen markets to keep prices of potatoes, onions, eggs and edible oil stable. Director of National Consumer Rights Protection strengthens its drives. 14 people killed in a plane crash due to bad weather in Brazil's Amazon. And India grabbed Asia Cup title for the 8th time, beating Sri Lanka by 10 wickets. Assalamu alaikum. This is Shamim Khan, welcoming you all to News at 10. Those were the headlines. We now move on to the news in details.
Assembly call করেছেন আমার দাবি মানতে হবে প্রথম সামরিক আইন মার্শাল ল উইথড্র করতে হবে সমস্ত সামরিক বাহিনীর লোকদের ব্যারাকে ফেরত দিতে হবে যেভাবে হত্যা করা হয়েছে তার তদন্ত করতে হবে আর জনগণের প্রতিনিধির কাছে ক্ষমতা হস্তান্তর করতে হবে তারপরে বিবেচনা করে দেখব আমরা অ্যাসেম্বলিতে বসতে পারবো কি পারবো না
Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina reached London on her way to New York, USA to attend the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly, UNGA. A flight of Biman Bangladeshi Airlines carrying the Premier and her entourage landed at Heathrow International Airport at 4:05 p.m. local time. The Prime Minister is scheduled to reach New York at 10:50 p.m. local time on Sunday after a 4-hour stopover at the Heathrow Airport in London. Earlier, she left Dhaka for New York this morning. During her stay in New York from September 17 to 22, the Premier will attend the first day of the high-level general debate of the 78th UNGA session at the General Assembly Hall of UN headquarters on September the 19th. Sheikh Hasina will address the session on September the 22nd. She will join a dinner hosted by US President Joe Biden on September the 19th. On the sidelines of the UNGA session, the Premier will also attend a number of high-level side events, including Rohingya and climate change, sustainable development goals, SDGs, universal health and finance, alongside taking part in several bilateral and courtesy meetings. The world leaders will gather in New York for attending the 78th UNGA session under the theme Rebuilding Trust and Reigniting Global Solidarity, Accelerating Action on 2030 Agenda and its Sustainable Development Goals towards Peace, Prosperity, Progress and Sustainability for All. Sheikh Hasina Institute of Frontier Technology is being constructed in Shipchor of Madaripur district at a cost of taka 1500 crore. Jatiyo Shongshad Chief Whip Nuri Alam Chaudhry MP and State Minister for ICT Junaid Ahmed Polok inaugurated the construction work of the project on September the 9th. The project with 70.34 acres of land will have a 41-story tower. In addition, there will be a research institute. Sheikh Hasina Institute of Frontier Technology will promote biotechnology, nanotechnology, neurotechnology, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, Internet of Robotics Things, blockchain, data science, hyper-automation, technological ethics, behavior and experience engineering, innovation and entrepreneurship. Insiders say this high-tech park will help create manpower to address challenges of the fourth industrial revolution. Construction of the project will come to an end in December 2026. Information and Broadcasting Minister and Awami League Joint General Secretary Dr. Hassan Mahmood said some people and groups who do not welcome Bangladesh's developments are spreading different types of propaganda at home and abroad. However, leaving behind all propaganda, the Awami League will come to power again through a free and fair election and continue the country's development activities, he added. Dr. Hassan Mahmood said this at a view exchange meeting with expatriate Bangladeshis as chief guests at the Awami League's own office in Canada's Toronto yesterday evening. The Information and Broadcasting Minister said most of the propaganda against Bangladesh is launched from foreign lands. He urged the expatriate Bangladeshis to respond to these propagandas. Dr. Hassan Mahmood said there were conspiracies against Bangladesh in 1971, but the birth of Bangladesh could not be resisted. Similarly, development spree in Bangladesh under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina will go on, leaving behind all conspiracies. Ontario Awami League President Mustafa Kamal presided over the function, while General Secretary Liton Masood moderated it. Canada Awami League's founder President Sarwar Hussain and Ontario Awami League's founder President Faruqi Hassan also spoke. Earlier, Information and Broadcasting Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood joined a meeting at a local restaurant with former students of Chittagong University living in Canada. Dr. Hassan Mahmood was also a student of the university. Muhammad Amin Mia, Shahabuddin Ahmed, Shaukat Ali Shagur, Giyasuddin Ahmed, Shofi Ahmed, A.M.M. Toha, Sajjad Hussain, Zohirul Haq Chaudhry, Qazi Zohiruddin and Minara Begum took part in the discussion. Dengue is becoming devastating day by day, and the disease is getting some uncommon symptoms. Experts said now dengue is attacking the brain and hearts of the people with heavy coughs. Previously, dengue affected people who have had high fever, pain in the muscles, diarrhea and convulsions. As a result, the death risk from dengue is rising. Experts and physicians suggested sending dengue patients to the hospitals immediately without delay. The death toll from dengue this year has crossed 800 mark till yesterday. Dengue has so far claimed 804 lives this year, making this the deadliest year since the first recorded epidemic in 2000. Doctors at all government hospitals are struggling to treat dengue patients. Entomologists said if more rain comes in the current month, dengue situation might worsen. They also emphasize increasing anti-mosquito drive to prevent dengue. There is no symptom of improvement in dengue situation across the country, as over 2,000 have been infected and 18 died during the last 24 hours. A press release of the Director General of Health Services said among the dead, 12 were in Dhaka and 6 were outside Dhaka. 3,122 dengue patients were admitted to different hospitals across the country during the last 24 hours. Among them, 849 dengue patients were hospitalized in Dhaka city and 2,273 patients outside Dhaka. Meanwhile, no one died of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. The country reported 9 COVID-19 positive cases as 849 tested in the last 24 hours. Corona infection rate was reported at 1.06%. Now, international news. A desperate search for the missing people continues in the Libyan city of Derna, where bodies are still washing up on its shores or decaying under the rubble a week after Storm Daniel triggered devastating floods in the country's east. The United Nations said in a report on Sunday that the death toll in Derna alone has risen to 11,300. Citing the Libyan Red Crescent, the UN Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs OCHA added that 10,100 others were missing in the devastated city. These figures are expected to rise in the coming days and weeks as search and rescue crews work tirelessly to find survivors, the OCHA report said. The revised death toll came as international aid started trickling in, with the UN and countries in Europe and the Middle East offering relief to survivors, including 40,000 people who have been displaced in the wake of the disaster. Two cargo ships reached the Ukrainian port after traveling through the Black Sea using a new route. Ukrainian port authorities said the ship were due to load 20,000 tons of wheat bound for world markets. Officials said it was the first time civilian ships had reached the Ukrainian port since the collapse of a deal with Russia ensuring safety of vessels. Until now, the corridor had only been used by ships departing from Ukraine. The vessels will deliver the wheat to Egypt and Israel, according to Ukraine's agriculture ministry. Their arrival comes after Russia abandoned a UN-backed deal that facilitated Ukrainian grain exports from Chornomorsk and two other Black Sea ports in July. 14 people have been killed in a plane crash during bad weather in the Brazilian Amazon on Saturday. The small propeller plane was nearing the end of its 400-kilometer trip between Manaus, the capital of Amazonas state, and the remote jungle town of Barcelos when it went down. Officials said all those on board, 12 passengers and 2 crew, were killed in the crash. An investigation has been launched into the cause of the incident. Even 3 days after the government imposed price caps on potatoes, onions and eggs, their prices showed no signs of cooling. Traders said they could not sell potatoes, onions and eggs at government fixed prices as they could not buy these at lower prices. They demanded monitoring at the godowns alongside regular drives. Meanwhile, the Directorate of National Consumer Rights Protection said they are strengthening the drive to control the kitchen markets. On the other hand, consumers suggested conducting a drive at the production level and supply chain system to keep the market stable. They said only driving at retail market cannot reduce prices of essentials. The drive should be conducted at wholesale markets and warehouses. Consumers also said they can rarely manage to purchase essentials at government set prices. Market observers said it should be ensured to punish the market price manipulators this time. Post and Telecommunication Minister Mustafa Jabbar has said the minimum period of mobile data usage will be 7 days instead of 3 days from the next 15th October. He said this at a meeting titled Presentation on Implementation of New Guidelines for Mobile Phone Operators on Data and Data-Related Packages 2023 held at BTRC Bhavan at Agargaon in Dhaka today. BTRC Chairman Sham Shundur Shikdar presided over the meeting, which was also attended by Secretary of the Post and Telecommunications Department Abu Hina Murshid Zaman and officials of various mobile phone service providers. The minister said positive results were yielded after fixing of maximum and minimum rates for voice calls. Now, weather. Met Office in its weather forecast till 6 p.m. tomorrow said light to moderate rain and thunder showers accompanied by temporary gust to wind is likely to occur at most places over Dhaka, Borishal, Chattogram and Sylhet divisions, at many places over Mymensingh and Khulna divisions, and at 1 or 2 places over Rajshahi and Rangpur divisions. Besides, moderately heavy to heavy falls at places over Dhaka, Borishal, Chattogram and Sylhet divisions. Day temperature may fall by 1 to 2 degrees Celsius and night temperature may fall slightly over the country, said the Met Office. Now, news on sports. India lifted the Asia Cup for a record-extending 8th time after routing defending champions Sri Lanka by 10 wickets in Colombo, Sri Lanka. Elected to bat first on Sunday in front of a full house of 35,000 fans, Sri Lanka were bundled out for a paltry 50 in 15 overs 2 balls with 5 batters And now to end the bulletin, a recap of the top stories. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina now in London en route to New York to attend the 70th session of the United Nations General Assembly. Sheikh Hasina Institute of Frontier Technology is being constructed in Shipchor of Madaripur at a cost of 1,500 crore taka. Leaving behind all propaganda, Awami League will come to power again through a free and fair election, says Dr. Hassan Mahmood in Canada. Consumers urged to increase monitoring of kitchen markets to keep prices of potatoes, onions, eggs and edible oil stable. Directorate of National Consumers' Rights Protection strengthens its drives. 14 people killed in a plane crash due to bad weather in Brazil's Amazon. And India grabs the Asia Cup title for the 8th time, beating Sri Lanka by 10 wickets. And that's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you, Lead, for joining us, and we